So as I sit here sipping a few porters, so Who Stands to Gain was the last vid that I uploaded. I'll leave you a link to underneath this. I mentioned obviously Charlie Kirk, and I said it ties into, in my thoughts, Atlas Shrugged. And, you know, you have to look through the previous decades, and not just in America, but certainly in the UK, because the similar things happened, and you could argue in many Western nations. The uprooting of manufacturing from Western nations to communist China, yeah. And remember, most people didn't get what would happen to them directly based on that. When you look at an example being, and this must be about at least, 20 years old, Walmart, the high cost of low prices, and you see all those various corporations in America that were doing very well, they're shut down, or they move abroad, and in every town and village and so many stores just disappear, because every time a Walmart opens or some box cube, whatever, the town's high street dies. Yeah. And people don't realize the connection about all this, because historically, when things really kick off politically, the country has to be in shit street. Yeah, seriously. You look at Russia, you look at China, you look at Germany, yeah. And under those circumstances, things really hit the fan. And what you're seeing here is, between that and obviously what happened to, and it's true, we're now at this situation where we've got really fragile Western nations as regards fiscal base. Add to that political upheaval, strife, and a left and a right, and this kicks off. Yeah. And I knew this back in the naughty space, right? The certain clients asking me to research certain subjects, and they went, and this was before the 2008 crash. And remember, it's a crash every so many years, which is the centralization and of the money supply and various other things. But explorer yachts, I looked into a lot of these because, remember, these were clients with wealth. What would you do if you were in ideal circumstances and, blah, 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 and you can no longer have faith in most countries you could be in? Well, obviously, the solution to that is something a bit more mobile that you can do vast amounts of miles in. Now, I'll give you two examples. Now, the perception of success would be, for example, this. So, cross-channel blast. And it's a 96-foot plastic yacht, blah, 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 with vast engines. And this thing, which is going 105 miles in total, yeah, is going from somewhere in the south coast of England to Jersey. The actual bloody entire journey is 105 miles. This thing is drinking 723 litres of fuel per hour. Seriously. Yeah. But the clued up, well, they would be going for something like this under fair use.
Placement boat is trying to stay in the water and cruise economically and efficiently. So efficiently, in fact, that this at 9 knots is only using 25 litres per hour.
Now, don't get me wrong. This thing is doing 21.8 knots at the time. Yeah. But my point is for the clued up occultists with wealth. Yeah, explorer yachts, places, options. That's been a thing for quite a while now. So at 9 knots, this thing's doing 25 litres in total. And this, from memory, I think the fuel tanks is something like 18,000 litres. This thing, under ideal circumstances, can do in excess of 7,000 nautical miles. Now, if you realise things are really kicking off and you have little to no faith in most countries, and you're listening to the essential internet or radio, whatever, on the day-to-day, that gives you lots of options. These people have thought about this, while most people will be thinking about, oh, good God, we need to kick off. We need to do X, Y, and Z. All I'm saying, and previous to yachts like, explorer yachts like this, these guys in the noughties created a set of boats that I would argue absolutely was about riding the storm. And I'll speak to you soon.